Fertility. Fertility is defined as the natural capacity to conceive a child. It is the fundamental force that has fueled the human race's expansion to all corners of the planet. But fertility does not come easily for everyone. It's an important aspect of human culture, and about 11% of couples face infertility, or the inability to conceive naturally after 1 year of unprotected sexual intercourse. And so many cultures dedicated specific deities to assist them with the concept of fertility or producing children. In Igbo mythology, there was Allah, who was the goddess of fertility. Who was the Ashanti, earth goddess. The Dinka had Dinka, who was a god of the sky, rain, and fertility. Oshun is the most famous of the orisha spirits, but there was also Oya and Ishu, who were associated with fertility. In North Africa, they took on many aspects and deities. There was Men and Amun, who were both seen as creator deities, but also Bastet, the cat goddess, and Hathor, who was a goddess of music, beauty, love, sexuality, and fertility. There was Heket, the frog goddess of fertility. Aset or Isis, who was the goddess of motherhood, magic, and fertility. Osiris, who was seen as the deity of the afterlife and the dead, ultimately had the ability to create life and was associated with vegetation and the fertile flooding of the Nile. Renenutet, who was the hippo goddess, was associated with motherhood and the fertile fields, whereas Sobek was conversely associated with war and fertility. Sobdep was a goddess of fertility in the soil, and Tararet was a goddess of fertility and childbirth specifically. Tefnut was a goddess of the water, and through that association claimed fertility as well because of the power of water to renew life. The Hopi venerated the trickster Kokopelli, who was associated with agriculture, fertility, and the birth of children, and Hanhepi was the Lokata goddess associated with motherhood, femininity, and reproduction. In the Canaanite, we would have Inanna or Ishtar, although she was also known by the name Ashtoreth. Hadet was a god of storms and agriculture, which was typically associated with fertility, and there was also Tanit, who was the consort of Baal at Carthage. The Etruscan mythologies gave us Phuthluns, who was a god of plant life, happiness, health, and growing things, and Turan was a goddess of love, fertility, and vitality. Fertility rites are religious rituals that are intended to stimulate reproduction in humans or in the natural world in general. In Japan, the Shinto Kanamara Matsuri, which is called the Festival of the Steel Phallus, is held every spring. And the legend behind this festival is that a jealous, sharp-toothed demon hid inside the vagina of a young woman who he had fallen in love with, and bit off the penises of two young men as they attempted to marry and consummate with the woman. After the woman sought the help of a blacksmith, he fashioned an iron phallus to break off the demon's teeth and thus ended the curse. Fertility Fest is a modern fertility arts festival dedicated to fertility, infertility, and the science of making babies in modern families. Fertility rites may occur on calendric cycles, as rites of passage within the life cycle, or as ad hoc rituals. Commonly, fertility rituals are embedded within larger order religion or social institutions. But because of the nature of humans and our desire to procreate and our need to sustain our life, fertility will always be important concepts for humans to examine in both their medical and spiritual worlds.